Welcome to Entrepreneurial Corners. My name is Sharise Johnson Moore, and I am your host for today. And we have a special guest with us. Her name is Chickie Farella, and she is the author of Ciao Giulia. Ciao Giulia. And it is a fascinating understanding of how your life can be 1 minute someone raises you to think one way, and then when you find out life facts that it is nothing like what they told you. Okay, so I wanted to welcome Miss Chickie Farella. Hello, Miss Chickie. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Sharise. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You want to share with us a little background about yourself?
Yes, my background is my change from being raised 12 years of Catholic education, which was not a mentally healthy time for me. And I later moved on to Italian American studies and met a bunch of amazing scholars that exposed me to women's spirituality studies.
Mhm.
And it completely changed my life, and it helped me heal. Because when I was um, t- starting at 5 years old, I was raped. Um, then at 7 years old, I was making my first confession in the Catholic Church. And when I went into the dark box, which I was scared to death,
Mhm.
um, I confessed my sins. And when I was finished with my sins, I walked out of the dark box and
Mhm.
was approaching the altar. And the nun who was organizing the first confessions grabbed me by my uniform collar, shoved me into her face, and said, "You weren't in there long enough. You have more sins on your soul," and
Mhm.
pushed me back into the dark box. Um, then the land, I'll give you, this will be the last one. If you ever heard of the book and the play, uh, Black Patent Leather Shoes Reflect Up,
Mhm.
well, that happened to me. I was 8 years old. My mother bought me black patent leather shoes for Easter. So
Mhm.
when Easter vacation was over and I went to school, I wore them. And the
Mhm.
nun took me out in the hallway and started screaming at me and told me that I was trying to tempt the boys in seeing underneath my skirt.
Mhm. Okay.
And I had to be quiet for all these years with that. There was nothing that I could do.
Okay.
So they made a product of someone who feels bad about herself at all times, and that was my life until I came into learning about the goddesses,
Mhm.
the pre-Christian female divinities,
Mhm.
um, and the Black Madonnas, especially because that gave me the images of the Black Madonnas in Sicily just gave me so much power. And I finally started feeling good about myself and started writing.
Mhm. Okay.
And so this book here, Ciao Giulia, is really the culmination of my life's journey,
Mhm.
Charisse. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. So, Miss Chicky, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Okay, okay. And what inspired your life story? So, could we consider this being a memoir or autobiography?
No, but um, it could and it couldn't. There's a little bit of me in there for sure, but what I wanted to concentrate on is even though it's booked as fiction, it's historical fiction because the backdrop of it is the march in 1983, International Women's Day, the march in Comiso, 1983, against all the nuclear missile plants, but against violence and being able to prosecute a guy or a husband after beating you or raping you.
Okay.
What I could never understand, after I learned about all of this, the feminist divinities and female stories, because we didn't have her story in Catholic school. We only had his story.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I just had a hard time understanding how a man can rape a woman,
Mm-hmm.
get in the car,
Yeah.
drive to church,
Yes.
go into the church,
Mm-hmm.
go into the confessional, and be forgiven by another guy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So in my story, me and my Sicilian American sisters,
Mm-hmm.
we took care of a rapist in a different way.
I understand. I totally understand.
We
So
did the female perspective.
okay, all right. So how many books have you written so far, Miss Chickie?
Oh, this is my first one. This is it.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations!
Thank you
So
so
how
much.
does it feel to be a first-time author?
It feels really good. I feel accomplished. I'm 75 years old and I'm finally accomplished with something. I was in the music business for a long time and I got awards and everything, but I never made any real money from it.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been on my mind since I was 5 years old, and that terrible thing that happened to me, it's finally out. It's
Yeah.
taken all these years to talk about it.
Yes, yes, it is so much. When we write a book and we put everything in that book and we free our souls with our words on the paper. It helps us a lot when we free our souls in the paper. So, how long did it take you to write your book?
Sharise, do you know if you go to my website, godthemother.com,
Hmm.
and you go on the Chickie page,
Yes.
it's like 15 years ago, I was performing this by myself in
Hmm.
front of Italian American Studies conferences, and I would perform pieces of this by myself, and you'll see all the reviews on it. So
Hmm.
it took me this long to finish it because I only had segments that I was doing.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
But I'm getting interest for film right now.
Oh, you go, girl.
Yes.
Hey, how you
Yeah,
doing?
I've got,
Right.
I can't talk about it yet, but I definitely have interest for it.
Yes, the road is leading that way, right?
Yes.
You
Let's
know,
hope so.
yes. So, as a first time author, um, did you have any trepidations about writing your story at first?
Um, no, not really. My rape incident that happened when I was 5 years old, I was, warned to keep my mouth shut.
Mhm.
And I didn't tell anybody. But I'm doing it through the story now because it needs to be said. I suffered with panic attacks for years and I couldn't say anything. My parents didn't know anything. I couldn't tell them what happened to me. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I got therapy.
Okay, okay. So, in your lifetime of dealing with the knowing that that you couldn't say anything or you couldn't tell anybody, did that have a profound effect the way you saw others?
Um, no, I think I felt their pain.
Mhm.
Um, the part about not telling anybody is I was warned about not telling anybody by the rapist, but I didn't want to tell anybody because I felt like I was a dirty girl.
Oh,
That was my image. So that was when I'm 5. Then when I'm 6, I go into Catholic school, and that's what the nuns made me feel like I was a dirty girl.
okay.
So it was to keep my mouth shut. There's a thing go, keep your mouth shut, don't say nothing, keep your mouth shut. And that's
Oh,
what I did.
okay.
Yeah.
So are you ready to read your excerpt for us? You ready to read your excerpt from your book?
Um, well, I don't want to give too much because I want to. Hmm. I'm just going to read part of the intro there.
Okay.
I'm just introducing the part of where I met with the female divinities and women's spirituality. And it says, and I'm specifically here is about the goddess Demetra and her daughter Proserpina. Remembering the tale of Demetra, the goddess of fecundity, and her daughter Proserpina, goddess of the underworld, is like remembering the future. Proserpina was kidnapped by the underworld god Pluto. He took her underground and forced her to eat pomegranate seeds, which were symbols of marital fidelity. Meanwhile, Demetra, like all moms, searched endlessly for her daughter. Nevertheless, she neglected the earth's elements. Zeus, terrified that this rape was leading to a catastrophic lack of agriculture, a possible total devastation, sent a messenger to order Pluto to give her back her daughter. See, this is sort of like a comparative study with Mary and Jesus. Mary was always worried about Jesus, and Demetra was worried about Proserpina because Demetra was the goddess of the agriculture, and Proserpina was her daughter. You take away the daughter, and Demetra spent all of her time searching the earth for her daughter, and while she was doing it, everything was dying. So that's why Zeus, the goddess of underworld, said, you better give her back her daughter, otherwise everything's going to die. But there's a lot more to it. I have current things in here too.
Okay. All right. So in your research of female may I say deities?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did that research start? How did that kind of research start with you?
Just feminist scholars introduced her to me, like Dr. Lucia Cavilla Birnbaum. She wrote the Black Madonna book, and there's just all. There was just all this information that nobody told me. I didn't know anything about it, and I needed this desperately. To feel good about myself, to get my power, because my power was gone with that education I had. It was completely gone. Grammar school was a nightmare. High school wasn't too bad because I went to an all-girls school and the nuns weren't as bad. But it gave me back my power.
Okay. So in your essence of learning about femininity, what would be your advice to women about finding themselves?
There's a number of books. They can send me an email. There's a number of books that they can get their hands on, or they could go to their, if they're European countries. That was my big wake up call when I did a study tour of Sicily. That's where my family's from. And we did a search on all the Black Madonnas of Sicily, and the Madonna that's in my book, Santa Maria Adonai, she is one of the oldest Black Madonnas in all of Europe, but the oldest in Sicily. And she has an interesting story because the way she was found, there was a shepherd who had his who had his cows, and the cows fell in a hole, and down at the bottom of the hole there's a sanctuary with Santa Maria Adonai. And I got to go in there, and it was just it was so powerful. So she's the one I staged a lesson in my book for a rapist.
Yes. Okay.
He doesn't. This rapist doesn't get to go into a confessional and talk to a guy.
Okay. All right.
Not with this. See, this is the thing. There's enough. We've had enough of the Godfathers and the Goodfellows. This is the Sicilian American female perspective this time.
Yes. I totally understand. So
Sorry if I'm so dramatic.
no, you're fine, honey. You fine. You totally fine. You're telling your story. And don't ever apologize for telling your story the way you want to tell it, okay? That's from one author to another. That's from one woman to
Thank
another.
you. Well,
Be-
the Godfathers and the Goodfellows, the women, the female perspective is
yeah,
pretty much buried in the wallpaper.
right?
I took my Sicilian American sisters, and we are out there in front.
Yes, yes.
Front.
Yes, you're fighting and you want you're getting your liberation the way that it is in your heart.
Mhm.
Because us as women, we have been suppressed to be in the background for so long. We've been
You got
suppressed
it.
to be in the background and don't say nothing, don't do anything. No, you can't do this. No, you can't say that. No, and it's like, look, I got a voice too. I got a voice. I got dreams. I got hopes. I got desires. I have these things that I want to do in my life, and I don't think I want to be controlled by a male the rest of my life because you think women are supposed to be submissive, and God did not create us that way. God didn't create us that way. God created us as equals, not the man be. I mean, woman be underneath the man or walk behind the man. We're supposed to be equal. So and with that, it is a thing of sometimes we have to come out. We have to tell our truths. We tell our truths because it helps us. It helps us mentally, it helps us spiritually, it helps us emotionally when we don't hold everything in, because you be wondering why you got high blood pressure and all these things, and you, because you're holding on to everything that has tried to tear you down or try to hold you back. And now that you're releasing it, it is a freeing of the spirit, it is a freeing of the mind. So and would you like to add anything to that?
You know, the lead character, I know the name of the book is Ciao Giulia, and it is about Julia, that the three girls from
Mhm,
Chicago,
mhm.
Sicilian American girls, are going to Sicily to meet with Julia to do the march on Comiso.
Okay.
But the lead character, actually, the Chicago girl, her name is Jackie. And the
Mhm,
reason I named her Jackie is
mhm,
because my mother and my aunts were
mhm.
forced to name us girls Florence after my father and my uncle's mother. And my mother never liked my mother and my aunts never liked her. So I'm Chickie, my cousin Big Chickie,
Oh,
and I have a cousin Dolly, and we're all Florence. So
oh,
I named the lead character because that's the one that I used to perform way back when,
okay.
as Jackie, because that's the name that my mother wanted. She wanted my name to be Jacqueline, and my Sicilian father, wouldn't have anything to do with that.
Oh,
So he's in the grave right now, but I'm getting back at him with Jackie.
sometimes it's freeing of the mind. It's I got my own thoughts. I want to be my own individual person, and what the thing is sometimes people get stuck in the past. They are so stuck in the past and staying there and in their childhoods and what they're dealing with that they pass that on through generation. They pass it on through generational conversation, or they pass that through they pass that through um uh, uh they pass that through where they gotta everything has got to be their way and it's got to be this certain
Mhm.
way, and it's like, really, like, don't you think I want to be a Sophia or something, Sophia or Jacqueline or something, and it's a thing of everyone deserves their own individuality. So, what are you working on next? What you working on next?
Um, I'm just, I've never written a screenplay, but I may do that. Of course, I've got two
Mhm,
individuals that want to do this,
mhm,
and
mhm,
I don't know which way it's going, but I see this as a film. There's definitely a film here.
Okay, okay. Well,
Do you know what happened when I was performing it like 15 years ago by myself? The
oh,
first time I did that, when I was done with it, this was a big conference,
uh,
and my people came up to me and they said, "So now what?"
mm-hmm.
And I said, "What are you talking about?" "So
Yeah,
now what?" They kind of really intimidated me. I
yeah.
says, "Now what for what? What are
Mm,
you gonna do with this? Is it a book? Is it a play? What is it? But do something. Just do something." And it took me like 15 years to get to this.
okay. Well, congratulations, congratulations.
Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah, she is so beautiful. I love the cover. I
And
love.
you know what I got from the Madonnas that it's so hard to explain
Mm-hmm,
when I first seen them and when I continue to see them.
mm-hmm,
There's this power I get from them. And
mm-hmm.
it's not like that she's sending me bad power or anything. It just I just feel powerful.
Yes.
It's a very strange sensation, but it
Mm-hmm,
makes me feel really good.
yes, and empowers you on the inside.
Yeah.
Empowers
Yeah.
you on the inside. Well, you are afraid, and it brings you strength, and it encourages you in your daily walking of living. And it is something when we free in our minds. It changes our perspective about everything else, you
Mhm.
know, and when we free our minds, the rest will follow, as they say, right? So, is there anything else you would like to share with us? Where can the book be found?
Just it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm,
On Amazon. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the characters. The three characters, the Chicago Sicilian girls, they're a riot. They're a riot.
mm-hmm,
I just what I read to you guys that was just the background and my influence with the goddesses. But
mm-hmm,
the three Sicilian girls, they're hysterical.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's like you gotta love them.
Yeah.
And Julia
Mm-hmm,
is an amazing, amazing girl, and she's influenced me. Um, my cousin Giuseppina in
mm-hmm,
Sicily, I kind of based this on her, not that she was ever raped, but she was a lot of Sicilians go to London or to England to work. And when I
mm-hmm.
first met her, I mean, everybody's got this thick Italian accent, and she's speaking the King's English.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know that she was raised, her father had, had work in London, and so she was raised in London,
Mm-hmm,
and she's she, she just made a big impression on me. And I wrote, not that she went through any of this, but
mm-hmm,
I wrote the story around her, how a Sicilian girl could go to London and come back, but keep the um, uh, London type of thinking,
okay.
because
Yeah.
Julia is raped,
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to make her marry the rapist.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what happens in Sicily. Not anymore, but that's yes.
Oh Lord.
So
Mm-mm.
that's the heart of the story. I
That's
just
that's
told
a
you.
whole tradition, huh?
Yeah, well, the Sicilian Chicago girls take care of that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I want to say thank you, Miss Chickie, for joining me today. And I want to let everyone know that Miss Chickie can be found on Facebook. She can be found on Facebook. She's available to be found on Instagram, author Chickie Farella. And she is also, her book is also available on Amazon, 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 Amazon.
That that is chickiefarella.com.
Mhm.
That'll take you right to Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I wanted to let everyone know that we had Miss Chickie Farella today, and she is the author of Ciao Giulia. Ciao Giulia. And I want to say thank you so much, Miss Chickie, for joining us today. And if you would like to be an author on Entrepreneurial Corners, please reach out to me, Sharise Johnson Moore, here on the website, ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com, or you can reach me through email, snjm at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com for further information about how to become a guest on Entrepreneurial Corners, to spread the word about what you have done as an entrepreneur, whether you're an author, motivational speaker, gospel artist, podcaster, whatever your entrepreneur genre is. Please come and see me about your visibility. Okay? All right. And I want to thank everyone for coming today. And I will see y'all next time on Entrepreneur Corners. Hold on, Miss Chickie. I'll be right back.